In downtown Des Moines, Iowa, all the buildings are connected via an indoor skywalk system. This is an example of a skywalk bridge you're looking at right in here. There's businesses, shops throughout the skywalk system, and many people credit the skywalk system for killing street life in Des Moines. There's just not a lot of businesses down here. At the center of the skywalk system is a 2-story indoor mall stretching 2 city blocks. This indoor mall has never been successful and is a great representation of problems that have affected downtown Des Moines. This is the Kaleidoscope at the hub. Kaleidoscope originally opened in 1985 with the goal to try to spark more life into downtown Des Moines. That really never worked, and the few national stores who located here soon filed out. The only type of businesses that really survived in this mall were the places that catered toward office workers, like quick service food places and like a bank and that kind of stuff. Not a lot of actual stores were in here. Other problems with the downtown location include having to pay for parking just to come down here, and you can't just park right in front of the mall. You have to park in a parking garage a few blocks away. That's not all that convenient. Then, there was no anchor to this mall, technically. Yonkers, the flagship store, was located across the Skywalk, but that closed in 2005, and after that closed, there really was no point to come down here for actual shopping. In recent years, this section of the mall was only valued at $100. The land that sat below it was worth $650,000. In the beginning of 2018, a kind of complicated deal happened. This mall's owner, EMC Insurance Company, made a land swap for the old Yonkers property right next door that was then being planned for like a new residential skyscraper. And they wanted to expand their headquarters there. And in turn, they would give this eastern half of the mall to the Blackbird Investment Company, who then owned the Yonkers property. So then Blackbird wants to build their skyscraper here instead of on the old Yonkers property. The space is a lot bigger, and EMC probably was just like, we don't know what to do with it. And we want our headquarters to be like right near our existing headquarters, which is like apparently across the street from the old Yonkers building. With the eastern section of the mall, that's coming down. But the western section of the mall will remain in place for now. So half of this mall is closing and is going to be demolished, but half of it will still remain open. The section that we are currently looking at is the section that is going to be demolished. There was no air conditioning in here, and the air was very stale and musty, kind of moldy. The architecture of this mall is quite striking. I would describe it as having the aesthetics of a food court from the 1980s. This mall has a lot of character to it, and it looks very interesting. But it really doesn't feel like a place you'd want to go and shop. Something about the color red makes you hungry. It doesn't make you want to go and spend money and try on clothes at a mall. That's probably, I think, part of the reason that the food businesses here did pretty well, while like the non-food businesses did awful. There is no other mall in the country that has tile work like this, or a mall that I would say is as blatantly 80s as this. It's a shame to see a mall this architecturally unique go away. The lower level was completely closed off, and there was no access to get down there. The doors were locked on the lower level too from the outside. They were storing construction materials down here, but for years there had been no tenants operating on that lower level. This space on the upper floor right in front of you used to be US Bank, and that was the last store in operation on this side of the mall. That closed in January of 2019, actually. This end of the mall was so dead, it almost felt like I was walking through an abandoned building. Almost like I just stumbled through an open door that was meant to be closed. It's really eerie to be in this space. This storefront is really interesting. It was also one of the last to remain occupied, as the store that was in here moved out in the end of December, and they only moved over to the West Mall. Then, now we're over the bridge connecting the two malls, and now all footage past this point on the inside is going to be of the West Mall, which is the mall that is not being demolished. There are a few businesses operating in this mall. There is a chiropractic clinic, a Palmer's Deli. There's a woman's boutique clothing store called Niece's Pieces. I'm already getting tongue-tied over the name. A Brugger's Bagels. Then on the lower level, there's a Burger King, a dental office, and a nationwide office. The main reason that this section of the mall is not going to be demolished is because it happens to be the base of a 25-story tower. So this section of the mall is going to remain as is for the foreseeable future. So at least that's a good thing. Half the mall's memory is still going to remain open, because they're obviously not going to tear down the 25-story tower. That storefront to the right is the Niece's Pieces store. I could really say that's the only actual store in the mall. Behind that white wall was another set of escalators. Now it's just a white wall of ugliness. Here's some proof. There's escalators, see? Out here is where the anchor of the mall used to be, Yonkers, which closed in 2005. The building burned down in 2014, and since then it has been an empty pit. However, this is the property that EMC wants to build a new component to their headquarters on, so that will not be vacant for long. They set up this temporary skywalk system to keep access into the mall and Skywalk access over here, which is nice. The mall is very 80s theme, really sticks to it, even outside. You can really see that, like, it looks quite interesting on the outside of this mall. Okay, right here's the really creepy hallway. This looks like the place. This looks like from a horror movie right here. And I guarantee this room is public. This is where the public elevator is. It also seems like it's the drainage room. It's absolutely disgusting. That elevator is disgusting. Everything about this hallway is disgusting. I would never want to step in those bathrooms right there. Downstairs is where Burger King, a dental office, and Nationwide are at in the mall. But besides those stores, the rest of the storefronts here have been walled off by those, like, glass panels. Honestly, this section of the mall feels more like the lobby of an office building than an actual mall down here. That white wall is where the escalators used to be, and behind that door, that's how you get to the elevator. There's no sign telling you that. I wonder if this building is kind of breaking ADA code. I do also want to make a note that the music you're hearing is what is playing in this end of the mall. So I really hope I don't get copyrighted for this, but I think it's kind of nice to hear the ambient music playing. Right now, I want to go and take a look at the lower level of the east wing. The doors were locked to get in here, so I couldn't get in here. The best view I could get was through these windows, taking a look onto the lower level. Looked creepy and abandoned. Yet, it looked clean and just like waiting to be reoccupied. Downtown Des Moines has a lot of cool architecture, and to be honest, the Kaleidoscope really does not fit in with a lot of the buildings that are around here, which really makes it stand out. That's the West Wing. You can kind of see there's just a lot of old architecture mixed in with this kind of gaudy 80s building. Oh, my finger just made an appearance there. Right up here is the other entrance into the east wing of the mall. It too was locked. As you can see, it's locked. I tried to open the doors, don't worry. Not as good of a view, but you can still see all the construction stuff down here. Demolition for the tower was supposed to begin in February. That never happened. As you can clearly see, the tower, or the mall, is still standing in July. So, that didn't happen. I don't know if the corridors for the mall are still open, but all it's doing right now is waiting and basking in its 80s glory for a little bit longer. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to watch another one, there are more videos on the screen now. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.